3-foot shit. When I was a kid, my mom impressed upon me not to sit on public toilet seats because of all the diseases and germs on them. I was supposed to just hold my BM, my bowel movement, until I got home. Well, one summer, my mom and dad sent me to camp, a 2-week overnight camp. So when I get off the bus with all the other kids, I'm looking around the camp, and I see the cabins, and I see the outdoor john. And I'm thinking, how am I supposed to go BM? Hold it? Can I hold it for 2 weeks? I can hold it for 2 weeks. So that was the plan. And the first time I go into john, it stinks. It's nothing more than an open septic tank that had accumulated decades of kid shit. And the toilets were above it, about 6 feet from the water, and it was gross. Anyways, I pick a toilet to pee in, and so I'm peeing, and this creature scurries across the surface, and I'm freaked out. It was big. It was like a big rat, or it could have been anything. It could have been a wolverine. So I'm really nervous, hanging my genitals over the toilet with this creature down there. So I'm kind of crouching down, just in case the creature was to come at me and I would back up. But the creature didn't, and I finished peeing and I ran out of there. And I'm thinking, there's no way I'm putting my ass on that toilet so the creature could bite it, or worse yet, drag me down there with it. So the plan was firm. I was going to hold it for 2 weeks. And the first day wasn't bad, and the second day wasn't bad either. The third day, I'm feeling a little cramping, and the fourth, worse, fifth, worse still, sixth, very bad. And on the seventh day, unlike the Lord, my bowels did not rest. So we went swimming at this lake that day, and I'm in the water, and I realized I have to go. But I didn't do it in the water, but I ran out of the lake and headed for these buildings that I thought had toilets, but they only had changing rooms. And when I was in this one room, I was looking in the corner, and I was thinking about shitting in the corner, but I realized I wasn't brought up that way, though at the time, I wish I was. So I run out of the building, and I'm looking around for a place to go, and I see this big clump of bushes at the corner of the building, and I get behind it, and I make sure nobody's looking, and I pull down my trunks, and I start taking a shit. And the shit is big and hard, and you know, it's not soft, the kind that would fly out of me. It's huge, and I'm having trouble pushing it out. It's almost like I'm giving birth to it. So I'm pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and then it just stops. And I'm wondering, why did it stop? Because I know I have a lot more in me. And so I look, and my shit is one solid mass from my ass all the way to the ground. And I'm like, you know, I am stumped. What am I supposed to do? And so I'm thinking, and I get this idea that if I push really hard, my body will levitate. And once I got to the top of the shit, I would kind of like lean forward, kind of like a pole vaulter extending over the bar, leaving his pole behind. Now, I didn't have much knowledge of biology or physics. Most of my knowledge about those subjects came from watching Roadrunner coyote cartoons. So this plan had real possibilities. So I pushed and I pushed and I pushed, and nothing happened. So now I had to come up with plan B. And so I'm thinking, trying to get an idea, and I finally get one. I decide that if I maybe stand on my toes, I will create enough clearance from the ground that my shit will finally be able to fall out of me. So I stand on my toes, and I push, and my shit falls to the side. And ladies and gentlemen, when that shit hit the dry leaves behind that bush, it was as if a tree had been felled. So I put on my trunks, and I run back and go swimming. Well, the next day I had to go again. I had to take a shit again. So I had to decide, what was I going to do? Was I going to hold it or just go to the bathroom? And I decided to go to the bathroom. So I go into the John and I check the toilets for the creature. I hadn't seen it for a while, but that didn't mean it wasn't still down there waiting for me. So this was going to be a fast shit. So I get on the toilet, I push, there's takeoff, and a splashdown. And when my shit hit that toilet with all that filth of generations, the fumes rose up and choked me. I couldn't breathe, and I'm thinking, I should have held it. And I did for the rest of the time there at Camp Mather. For 5 days I held it. And when I finally got home, I ran to the bathroom and promptly clogged the toilet. And so I called my mom, Mom, the toilet's clogged. And she calls back, tell your father. The end.